Merci tout le monde.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Rise in this House for the first time. I hope you will permit me to thank my constituents in Nepean for the great honor of being a member of this committee. And I'd like to thank Canadians, Mr. Speaker, for the trust that they've put in this government, but in all members of this great House. Hear, hear. All members of this. Votre élection.
Your election shows the respect that people have in you here in the House of Commons. For over 20 years, you have served the people of Lac Saint-Louis with devotion, with wisdom, and with heart, and with dignity as well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, Mr. Speaker, I have much to learn from the members of this great House. I will make mistakes. I have no doubt.
Yeah, you've already made a bunch.
We'll call them out for good reason. Because this House has rules. It has traditions. And it's on those traditions that our Athenian democracy is founded. Very good. Yes, we are Athens. They are Rome. On va triompher.
We will prevail. We are in the golden age of Athens.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You have my support.
All right, everybody, we are officially back for Parliament's return. We just had Carney talk or speak, and now we have Scheer, the official interim opposition leader.
First of all, Mr. Speaker, a huge congratulations to you. You've gotten the support of this House to manage this House for the next months, years. Who knows? We'll see.
To indulge myself to take this opportunity to thank the voters of Regina Qu'Appelle and indeed our spouses. I'd like to thank my wife Jill for the sacrifice that she and my family make, as do all our spouses and significant others. You have just taken charge of an office that is almost as old as Parliament itself. It emerged in the Middle Ages when the Commons needed a spokesman to air its grievances to the King. A task that probably wouldn't stand up to the safe workplace guidelines that exist today. And as we heard from our Dean, until the 17th century, the Speaker's loyalty was to the Crown rather than to MPs, and they were often blamed if they delivered bad news to the monarch. 7 speakers were beheaded between 1394 and 1535, and many more were imprisoned. Managing monarchs was a delicate undertaking. One speaker, John Wenlock, during the War of the Roses, when no one could be sure who would end up as king, he tried to hedge his bets by fighting for both the York family and the Lancastrians. It didn't work out too well for him, though. He died at the Battle of Tewkesbury. But of course, he wasn't the last politician to try to be on both sides of a contentious issue. And I dare say we may find some Liberal MPs voting for things that they were very recently voting against. But gradually, the Speaker's role became one of representing Parliament rather than the monarch. And it wasn't until the Victorian era that impartiality of the Speaker became the norm. Now, it might no longer be a requirement to stand up to kings and queens, but you may find yourself having to stand up to other offices of authority. And if such a moment presents itself, we trust you will stand with those speakers who came before you, who defended this institution on behalf of the people. As I look back over the last few parliaments, we did have some trying times. We witnessed injuries from flying elbows, F-bombs dropped, and a few appearances of one member in a state of undress. I did hear that CPAC was considering putting a warning on the daily broadcasts, may contain violence, coarse language, and nudity, but so far they haven't had to do that. The speakership itself has been tested, with, unfortunately, some speakers caught in the middle of scandals themselves. I have heard it said that it's all gone downhill since the last time a Conservative was elected Speaker, but I couldn't possibly comment on that. In all seriousness, though, Mr. Speaker, you are not the Commissioner of Parliament, you are the servant of the House, and that is an important dynamic. You are held accountable by the members, and each of us are accountable to our voters. Debates should be passionate, they should be lively. The lives of Canadians are changed by the decisions we make, and so it is normal that members get enthusiastic and fiery. When the stakes are so high, often the best thing you can do is allow the players to play a little bit. This is where the government is held to account. They have an enormous amount of power, and we, parliamentarians, must provide ruthless scrutiny on every dollar taken out of their pockets, every infringement on their liberties, and every single decision this government makes. Of course, every parliament has its own unique challenges and messy moments, but as Winston Churchill said, democracy is the worst form of government, except for all the others that have been tried. Monsieur le Président,
Mr. Speaker, you have our support for your speakership.
Our support and our best wishes for your speakership over this parliament. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.
All right, so we just had the new Speaker of the House get elected here. Not Greg Fergus. I don't know if people were expecting him to become the Speaker again, but he is gone.
I would be remiss not to note that I'm slightly further away from you than I used to be, which will force us to be as courteous as possible while still increasing the volume of our voice. It'll show that when it's time for action, numbers don't mean anything. I would like to congratulate the new Speaker on our behalf. I would also like to thank voters who took part in this democratic exercise in my riding of Belleuil-Chambly or throughout Quebec or throughout the rest of Canada. I would like to note that the Prime Minister made reference to Athenian institutions and that the leader of the official opposition spoke a lot about the monarch. I thought it was going to be the opposite, to be honest. Perhaps we'll talk about it tomorrow. In any case, I would like to share my wishes to this House. We have work to do, and we hope it will be serious work under our new Speaker, a Parliament where I would like to have a bit more of a collegial approach. It will be good for us. It will be good for all members to do so. An approach that would be eminently responsible and accountable. I would like to ask all colleagues, new colleagues and old, to be the best that they can be, to compel us in my party to be as good as we can be. Of course, we'll come back upon our priorities in the next few days. You know our priorities. I want us to think in particular about the importance and the privilege of being in a democracy, because we need, I believe, to rebuild enthusiasm in amongst our voters so that they can go
Build enthusiasm with your voters. You lost a good portion of your seats because nobody believes in you, on top of the fact you said you didn't even want to be Prime Minister. Get out of here.
So they wouldn't have in the future to vote because of fear. And I think that we can do so, because in the last few minutes and in the last few weeks, I had the opportunity to talk to a number of you, colleagues, and I've already felt especially through brief conversations with the Prime Minister and Conservative colleagues, I felt that we do have the opportunity to have a different, renewed collaboration, which seems to be the only path towards a renewed respect that voters have in us, because they chose for us to be here. And I hope that we will be pleased and happy to undertake this privileged work. And you, Mr. Speaker, are the guarantor of that. Congratulations once again.
The honourable member for Vancouver Kingsway.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Monsieur le Président, on behalf of the New Democratic Party of Canada,
Oh, look, it's the NDP and all four of them.
congratulations on your election as Speaker of the House of Commons. Je tiens à vous adresser nos...
I would like to address our deepest congratulations for your election as Speaker of this House of Commons.
Thank all those who ran for this position and congratulate all returning and newly elected members of Parliament. We have a privileged position in this House. And the role
Half of the NDP, there's 7 members total, half of them aren't even confident in this guy and didn't even want him in the leader position. So, all 7 of them, half of them, aren't even confident in this guy. The NDP are falling apart. They shouldn't even be here.
In a time when public trust in democratic institutions is being tested around the world, the Speaker's duty is to foster respectful dialogue and uphold the dignity of this House, and that has never been more important. I think we all know that Canadians are facing some of the most difficult times in recent memory. An entrenched housing crisis, rising economic uncertainty, and widespread difficulty accessing timely health care are putting immense pressures on families and communities across this country. And in addition to these challenges, we now face unprecedented threats to our independence and a trade war from the administration south of the border. Now, despite these daunting circumstances, Canadians have responded with resilience, compassion, and unity. They have demonstrated what it means to come together in times of adversity. I think there's a lesson there for all of us. In keeping with the Athenian imagery, I would say this House should have more Plato and less mediocrities. So may this House draw inspiration from Canadians' examples. While we may hold very different views on how best to address these pressing issues, we must not lose sight of our shared responsibility to work together in common purpose to defend the best interests of our country and the welfare of our citizens. Canadian voters have once again elected a minority parliament, a clear mandate for cooperation rather than constant conflict. They have asked us to listen to one another, to find common ground, and to deliver real solutions. No party holds a monopoly on good ideas, and no government is entitled to a blank check. So let us honor the trust Canadians have placed in us by rising to this moment and working together to build a more just, secure, and hopeful future for us all. Monsieur le Président, I am confident
Mr. Speaker,
with wisdom, impartiality, and a steady hand. Canada's New Democrats extend our support and best wishes as you embark on this important chapter of public service. Les Néo-Démocrates du Canada.
the New Democrats of Canada support you and wish you the best as you start this important chapter of your public service. Thank you very much.
The honourable member for Saanich Gulf Islands.
Merci, Monsieur le Président, et félicitations.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and congratulations,
I wonder if she's drunk.
everyone, and especially the new MPs.
To congratulate our new Speaker and to congratulate
Mr. Speaker.
elected in this place, whether for the first or for our Dean of the House, the 13th time. Congratulations again to every member here. I reflect on what it was like when I witnessed the first Speaker election when I was first elected, and we elected the honourable member for Regina Capel. And I'll never forget, the leader of the official opposition stood on that occasion. I commend this to you, official opposition. The official leader of the official opposition, the late Jack Layton, said, "We pledge never to heckle." And that was a wonderful moment. I stood on behalf of the entire Green Caucus, as I do today, and pledge again never to heckle and to do everything possible, Mr. Speaker, to make your work in protecting our rights and ensuring the effective and efficient and honorable conduct of this place such that there will be no need for warnings on CPAC or any other network. Again, to everyone here, let's try our very best. I pause briefly to congratulate the Prime Minister on his maiden speech and again congratulate him for brevity. We look forward to more speeches from our Prime Minister, from the leaders of the official oppositions, and from parties, whether recognized or unrecognized. We are all here for the same reason. We work for Canada, we work for our constituents, and with your wise counsel, Mr. Speaker, we will work hard to make this a parliament that Canadians can be justifiably proud of Canadian democracy.
Yeah, the Green Party in their single seat fighting for Canadians. Here we go.
Following discussions among representatives of all parties in the House, I understand that there is an agreement to observe a moment of silence following the tragic event that occurred on April 26, 2025 at the Lapu Lapu Festival in Vancouver, British Columbia. I now invite honourable members to rise.
And that's literally it, right? They say it's a brand new cabinet and a brand new caucus, a brand new government. But when you look at this side of the aisle here, a lot of familiar faces. A lot.
Thank you, members. I have the honour to inform the House that I have received the following message. Mr. Speaker, I have the honour to inform you that His Majesty the King will arrive at the Senate of Canada building at 10:15 on Tuesday, the 27th of May, 2025. When it has been indicated that all is in readiness, His Majesty the King will proceed to the Chamber of the Senate to formally open the first session of the 45th Parliament of Canada. Sincerely yours, Donald C. Booth, Canadian Secretary to the King. Monsieur le Président, j'ai l'honneur de vous informer que Sa Majesté le Roi.
Mr. Speaker, I have the honour to inform you that His Majesty the King will arrive at the Senate of Canada building at 10:15 a.m. on Tuesday, the 27th day of May 2025. When it has been indicated that all is in readiness, His Majesty the King will proceed to the Chamber of the Senate to formally open the first session of the 45th Parliament of Canada. Sincerely yours, Donald C. Booth, Canadian Secretary to the King.
The House now stands adjourned until tomorrow at 10 a.m., at which time the House will proceed to the Senate, where His Majesty the King will open the first session of the 45th Parliament.
All right, well, it looks like that's it. I guess there's no question period or anything. We do have Senate proceedings we can go over, which I am very curious to dive into here. That it is today. Senate hearing is today. I don't have a proper view for the Senate hearing, though. That is the wrong video. It is not what I clicked on. Hold on, everybody.
What came up? What came up?
We have the May 26th Senate proceeding. Here we go. Let's dive into this.
The Lapu Day Festival in Vancouver, which resulted in 11 people losing their lives and 32 other people being injured. I would ask you to rise for a minute of silence in memory of this tragedy. Merci, chers collègues.
All right, so we're currently doing another minute of silence here in the Senate now. That was the House of Commons before, now we're in the Senate. This is where things truly happen. The House of Commons is just theatrics. The Senate, that's where the real business happens before it reaches the Governor General. And the Governor General acts on behalf of King Charles III. So I like to question time and time again how we're a sovereign nation when we are literally bending our will on behalf of a king, of a monarchy. But, you know, whatever.
To welcome you back to the Senate, I am very pleased to see our ranks strengthened by new appointments that brought the Senate to full for the first time in several years.
Certains d'entre vous seront peut-être.
Some of you may be surprised to see how the chamber has been set up. Due to the limited number of seats in the gallery, benches had to be installed in order to allow as many guests as possible for the historic occasion of a sovereign opening Parliament for the first time in nearly 50 years.
I wish to express my deep gratitude to all those who work with dedication behind the scenes for weeks. Their contributions and sustained efforts are essential to the success of this historic event. Honorable colleagues, I trust that you were able to rejuvenate and spend meaningful time with family and friends within your respective communities during the time that we have been away from Ottawa. Let us hope this break from parliamentary proceedings has allowed us all to reflect on strategies that can help foster a culture of collaborations for the benefit of Canadians. As many of our new colleagues will come to appreciate, honorable senators play a very, very important role in our democratic system. I look forward to working with all of you during this new parliament in a spirit of congeniality. Je vous remercie.
Yeah, it's not just our dollar, it's everything. They literally carry around a ceremonial mace. Like, look at this thing on the table here with the crown of the queen on the mace, on top of the chairs here that the senators sit in. Like, every aspect of it screams monarchy, UK, British monarchy. And we sit here and complain when Donald Trump threatens our air quotation sovereignty. But we bow down to King Charles III, ruler of Canada, which they say time and time again. I would love to know how we're a sovereign country when one of our biggest highways is named the Queen Elizabeth Way, and on every sign almost, there's the crown. Doesn't make any sense. All right, so we got a lot of wiggle room today, as we can put it. We can skip between different things here. We got the Deputy of the Governor General awaiting arrival, but guess what? We don't have to await the arrival because it's already happened. Check that out. Crazy. All right, here we go. It looks like things are actually kicking off now. Had to do a bit of skipping. They like to drag things out here, hours upon hours. This is why you don't bring children into the Senate chamber.
Honorable members of the Senate, members of the House of Commons, I have it in command to let you know that His Majesty the King does not see fit to declare the causes of his summoning the present Parliament of Canada until the Speaker of the House of Commons shall have been chosen, according to law. But tomorrow, Tuesday, May 27, 2025, at the hour of 10:15 a.m., His Majesty the King will declare the causes of his calling Parliament.
Honorable members of the Senate, members of the House of Commons, I have it in command to let you know that His Majesty the King does not see fit to declare the causes of his summoning the present Parliament of Canada until a Speaker of the House of Commons shall have been chosen, according to law. But tomorrow, Tuesday, May 27th, 2025, at the hour of 10:15 a.m., His Majesty the King will declare the causes of his calling Parliament.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we're going to have 2 days of pure theatrics opposed to them doing their jobs. Yeah, no shocker at all here. MPs not working. Senators not working. So I would just like to point out, tomorrow, King Charles will be showing up to Canada. Everybody was hyping it up today as if this was some big thing happening today, the throne speech, yada yada, this, that, and the fourth. I don't know if it's been moved or what happened, if they've delayed it. Maybe I got my scheduling wrong. I don't know. The bottom line here is they're still not doing anything. We're still delaying Parliament from literally doing anything until King Charles shows up tomorrow. So you can blame this on Carney, you can blame this on our stupid system, you can blame this on a bunch of different things.
Honorable Senators, I have the honor to inform you that I have received the following communication from the Canadian Secretary to the King, May 26, 2025. Madam Speaker, I have the honour to inform you that His Majesty the King will arrive at the Senate of Canada building at 10:15 a.m. on Tuesday, the 27th day of May 2025. When it has been indicated that all is in readiness, His Majesty the King will proceed to the Chamber of the Senate to formally open the first session of the 45th Parliament of Canada. Sincerely yours, Donald Booth, Canadian Secretary to the King.
I have the honour to inform you that I have received the following communication from the Canadian Secretary to the King, May 26, 2025. Madam Speaker, I have the honour to inform you that His Majesty the King will arrive at the Senate of Canada building at 10:15 a.m. on Tuesday, the 27th day of May 2025. When it has been indicated that all is in readiness, His Majesty the King will proceed to the Chamber of the Senate to formally open the first session of the 45th Parliament of Canada. Sincerely yours, Donald Booth, Canadian Secretary to the King. Honorable Senator,
Honourable Senators,
honor to inform the Senate that the clerk has received certificates from the Registrar General of Canada showing that the Honourable Alistair Wilbert Surette, the Honourable Baltej Singh Dillon, the Honourable Martine Hébert, the Honourable Danielle Henkel, the Honourable Duncan Renwick Wilson, the Honourable Catherine Ann Hay, the Honourable Robert Anthony Ince, and the Honourable Sandra Pupatello have been summoned to the Senate. Honorable Senator.
Honourable Senators, I have the honour to inform the Senate that the clerk has received certificates from the Registrar General of Canada showing that the Honourable Alistair Wilbert Surette, the Honourable Baltej Singh Dillon, the Honourable Martine Hébert, the Honourable Danielle Henkel.
I have to agree. Who cares about the King? And the fact that we are delaying things here for a few days just so he can do a speech, like, who cares? Let's get things going. I wonder how many of these senators are still Trudeau appointed. I wonder if there's going to be any shakeup within the Senate. Probably not. Carney's most likely fine with a majority of them being the exact same as before. Once again, just nothing has changed.
Surrey in the province of British Columbia. Greeting. Know you that as well for the especial trust and confidence we have manifested in you, as for the purpose of obtaining your advice and assistance in all weighty and arduous affairs which may the state and defense of Canada concern, we have thought fit to summon you to the Senate of Canada. Et nous vous ordonnons de passer outre à toute difficulté.
Know you that as well for the especial trust and confidence we've manifested in you, as for the purpose of obtaining your advice and assistance in all weighty and arduous affairs which may the state and defense of Canada concern, we have thought fit to summon you to the Senate of Canada. Our Parliament may be in Canada convoked and holden, and this you are in no wise to omit. In testimony whereof, we have caused our letters to be made patent, and the Great Seal of Canada to be hereunto affixed.
Mary May Simon, Chancellor and Principal Companion of our Order of Canada, Chancellor and Commander of our Order of Military Merit, Chancellor and Commander of our Order of Merit of the Police Forces, Governor General and Commander-in-Chief of Canada, at our government house in our city of Ottawa this 7th day of February in the year of our Lord 2025 and in the 3rd year of our reign. By command, François-Philippe Champagne, Registrar General of Canada.
I, Baltej Singh Dhillon, do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare and affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III.
I wonder if this is a Carney-appointed senator or what's going on here. They like to do this. They like to claim they're independent, but they're not. And there's a lot of different parties or independent groups within the Senate, but a majority of them are all liberal. We have something funny here. Let's take a look. We have the NDP pretending to have a plan for the future.
Well, we have 7 votes in a minority parliament, which reflects...
Committees, question period, like what? You won't be able to do much, really?
Yeah, well, again, in a minority parliament where the minority government has...
The reporters are cooking them. We just clicked on this and the reporters are already destroying them. I gotta go back to the beginning, guys. We gotta go back to the beginning here because the reporters, look, all 7 of the NDP aren't gonna do literally anything. They don't have official party status. They're a joke. They're literally just a speed bump in progress now. So at this point, anything they do, it's not gonna help. They're just going to simply try to stay afloat and stay alive at this point. Let's get into this.
To anticipate the throne speech tomorrow and share a little bit about what New Democrats are looking for in that throne speech and some of the priorities that we are going to advance this Parliament. First, affordability issues have affected working families in every province and territory of this country, whether it's the price of groceries, the price of utilities, the price of rent. Too many families are finding it impossible to pay their monthly bills. Second, and an important adjunct of that, is affordable housing. You know, there's a lot of issues in politics, but some are foundational, and housing is one of them. It anchors us in community. It makes our ability to work, to have our children go to school, to connect with community possible, and far too many Canadians do not have access to this fundamental human right and necessity. As we face the unprecedented threats from south of the border and Mr. Trump's consistent and persistent threats of tariffs, we know that we need to work together to create a strong, independent Canadian economy with Canadian champions that create good, family-sustaining jobs in every corner of this country. And so we are going to be bringing the voices of workers to the House of Commons and championing policies that improve their lives and make sure that workers in this country do not pay the price for Donald Trump's tariffs. And as we work together to build a more resilient, independent Canadian economy, that workers are an important piece of that and share in that project. Finally, healthcare will be a very important priority for the New Democrats. It's in our DNA. Now, we have seen already that Prime Minister Carney has announced that he intends to find $28 billion in cuts to the federal budget. Now, New Democrats don't believe that cuts to public services are wise at this time or at any time, and we will be scrutinizing those extremely carefully to make sure that we protect, as New Democrats, the services that Canadians rely upon. But absolutely, we want to make sure that those cuts do not come at the expense of Canadians' health. New Democrats believe that we must strengthen our healthcare system. We have to expand our healthcare system, and that a strong, resilient, independent Canada has a strong, resilient, healthy population. Finally, I just want to say that as I embark on this privilege of leading the New Democratic Party at this important time in history, I'm keeping our late leader, Jack Layton, firmly in my mind. And he's someone that I'm going to use as a model as I move forward for whatever period of time I have as leader of this party. And I remember Jack saying that there were two very important things to remember. One is that it's every parliamentarian's first job to make Parliament work for Canadians. And second, he said that a good opposition doesn't just oppose, it proposes. And I'm going to keep those admonitions and those ideals and values firmly in my mind as we move forward. I'm now going to
find money, he said. Yeah, they're going to have to find new voters as well.
I'm going to turn over the microphone to my colleague, Monsieur Boularis, for his comments in French, and then we'll take your questions. Thank you.
Merci. Bonjour tout le monde. Alexandre Boularis, député de Rosemont-Petite-Patrie. En ce premier jour de retour du Parlement, je pense travailler pour des travailleurs, un mode dans la guerre commerciale est une priorité aussi. Le fait que les gens capables de, comme Néo-Dixon, réellement partie de nos gènes, ou notre système transférentaire dans ce Jack Layton pro-libéral minoritaire. Merci.
Qu'est-ce que ça vous dit que le roi Charles vienne lire le discours du trône demain? Est-ce que c'est utile? Est-ce que ça envoie un réel message?
On a un parce qu'il n'est pas démocrate.
Do you think the king is the best symbol to defend Canadian sovereignty?
You know, I've heard from a lot of Canadians that inviting a hereditary monarch who is the head of state of a foreign country is not necessarily the best way for a modern democracy to express its independence and sovereignty, but that's a decision for Prime Minister.
You don't say. You don't say. Like, holy Christ.
Mr. Carney, and it's one that he would have to answer.
I'd like to ask you, how are you going to accomplish anything in this parliament when you don't have official party status?
Well, we have 7 votes in a minority parliament.
We have 7. Oh my God. Well, we have 7 whole votes, guys. Oh man. They are coping so hard right now. They have literally nothing to grasp to. Their party got decimated in the last election because Jagmeet, time and time again, claimed he was for Canadians, lied and was only for his pension. This party, nobody takes this party seriously anymore. Nobody cares what the NDP have to say. Please just disband, give up your seats to the Conservatives, get out of here.
Which reflects
committees, question period, like what you won't be able to do much, really.
Yeah. Well, again, in a minority parliament where the minority government has 169 seats and needs 3 for a majority, any party that has 7 seats obviously has a balance of power. And so I think that we're going to be able to play a profoundly important role this parliament. You know, we're going to be a traditional opposition party. We're going to support policies that New Democrats believe in and will oppose those that don't. And I think that there's, as in every minority parliament, a real opportunity for us to push and promote progressive policies and hold this government to account in a way that you can't do in a majority parliament.
Hold the government to account just like you guys did last year? Right.
On that, are you going to get seats on committees? Have you entered into any negotiations with the House leaders about when PROC forms, whether you'll get some slots?
We're having fruitful discussions with all the parties right now. As you know, resources are allocated to the Board of Internal Economy. That board has not been struck yet. And even when that board is struck, and if we don't have a seat on it, it has the ability to allocate resources to different parties. And you know, one of the arguments I've made is we're a national party. We had 1.2 million Canadians vote for us, and it's important that we have the tools we need to function and discharge that responsibility.
And to get those tools, you're going to have to beg somebody with any power, which means you'll most likely go to the Liberals, form another coalition, and guess what? Your party in the next election will be gone. Zeroed. Net zero NDP.
We're going to do our job no matter what, as New Democrats. But if we have the tools that we need in order to participate more fully in the legislative process, I think that's better for our parliament, it's better for our government, and it'll result in better governance.
Have you had a chance to speak to the Prime Minister? Have you had a chance to speak to the Prime Minister?
Not yet.
Ouais, ben, juste sur la reconnaissance du parti, est-ce que les négociations sont terminées?
Politique. Il y a encore une question de respect.
House Leader saying this morning that the NDP is not going to be getting official party status.
Well, official party status is set out in the Parliament of Canada Act, and the reference to that and to 12 members is only in the context of additional sessional indemnities, in other words, salaries, which we never asked for and don't want, and would refuse if they were offered to us.
The Board of Internal Economy.
The Board of Internal Economy sets its own rules by its own bylaws. And so the Board of Internal Economy has the opportunity to allocate resources. And for instance, we've already made some progress. For instance, we have access to the lobby. We've kept our offices. We have access to the onboard voting dashboard. These are all little privileges that are only afforded to recognized parties, but we should be able to get those because it'll help us do our job better.
But just last question. Did you request from either the House Leader or the Prime Minister's office to become a recognized party or official party status, even though you didn't hit that 12-seat threshold?
Yeah, it's something that we from the very beginning said was a possibility. As you may know, this is done all the time in provinces across this country. It's happened, by my research, at least 10 times. Every party has done it. Conservatives have relaxed the number for Liberals. Liberals have relaxed them for New Democrats. New Democrats have relaxed them for Greens. Even CAQ relaxed the number for the Parti Québécois and Solidaire. So this is very common in Canadian politics, depending on the makeup of a parliament, to adjust the number that's required for official party status. So, you know, we inquired about that. The government doesn't seem interested in that, but what we're mostly interested in is just getting resources that we need that'll allow us to carry the voices of Canadians more effectively to this House of Commons, which I think is very important.
If you don't get that, Mr. Davies, what are you prepared to do? Like, are you going to
I'm not going to negotiate in public, and I'm not going to deal with hypotheticals. I mean, all I can tell you is there's very fruitful discussions going on between our party and all the parties, and we'll continue to carry on those discussions. And we'll let you know what happens as we come to agreement or not. Thanks.
Fruitful conversations with every party, but he just said that he hasn't spoke to Mark Carney yet. So how fruitful can these conversations be?
Le Bloc et les conservateurs en demandent un avant l'été. Est-ce que c'est votre cas aussi?
Nous, je pense que c'est une question de transparence. On voit une question. We should have that last spring, so I don't. So yes, I think that as a G7 country, we should have a budget in the coming weeks. I think it's really strange not to say that we can wait for the fall. And the federal government was already planning a budget last spring, so I don't know why we should wait.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, merci.
All right, and there you have it. They just walk off after getting obliterated by reporters. We are currently waiting for, I guess, King Charles to arrive in his probably jumbo jet or whatever. I, quite frankly, don't care about King Charles and his arrival, but it is the main thing happening right now. I'm going to take a look on the CPAC website and see if there's anything else I could cover in the meantime here. Other than senators being appointed and the House of Commons returning and this big King Charles garbage, there's really not too much going on. I guess we could talk about the fact that Canadian companies want to move to the US and the auto industry here is literally dying as we speak. But I mean, other than that, other than Trump this, Trump that, I don't really have too much to speak about, and I'm quite frankly tired about talking about Donald Trump because he's not the issue it's the Liberal Party and their policies for the past 10 years. I think, sure, maybe one or two things Trump has done probably isn't helping, but we're not in this issue because of him in the past 2-3 months. Trudeau and the Liberals, which a majority of them still remain in caucus and cabinet, are the issue. Yeah, yes, they are. Anyway, I thought there was going to be this big ceremony today. I thought we were going to have potentially get question period. I don't think any of that is happening today. So I might cut it early here today, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to say thank you all for joining. Thank you for watching. And yeah, that's probably going to do it for today. I will be live tomorrow for this big throne speech thing going on, but that will do it for today's stream. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you were new, and I will see you tomorrow. Take it easy, everyone.